Some rooms in a home feel like a deep breath. Others slowly wear you down. You might not notice it right away, but over time you feel it. A heaviness in the air, a quiet kind of weight. Maybe you have been spending more time in one spot lately and something just does not feel right. Not painful, just off. If that sounds familiar, I want to reassure you. It is not your age, and it is not your imagination. The truth is, everything in your home carries energy, and that includes color. There is one particular shade that, while praised for being modern and elegant, has a silent effect on the atmosphere around you. It can make a peaceful room feel cold. It can slow down your motivation, your joy, and even your relationships. But this is not about fear. It is about awareness and small changes. In this time of life, you deserve to feel restored when you walk into your home, not weighed down. Together, we will explore why this color affects you, and more importantly, how to gently shift the energy back in your favor. 1. The power of color in our homes. Color is not just something you see on the wall. It is something you feel in your body. It surrounds you. It moves with you. And whether you notice it or not, it is quietly shaping your mood, your energy, and your experience of home. You might walk into a room and feel tired, restless, or simply off. Even if the space looks perfectly fine, the furniture may be in the right place, the lighting might be soft, but something feels heavy. It lingers. And over time, you begin to feel it more and more. That something is often color. Color is not just decoration. It is frequency. It carries energy. It vibrates. Like music you do not hear but still respond to. And each color has its own message. Some colors wake you up. Some calm you down. Some hold you in place. Others help you move forward. In the practice of feng shui, color is one of the most important elements used to bring balance and harmony into a space. Each shade is chosen with care, not just for beauty, but for the way it speaks to the energy of the room and the spirit of the person who lives there. Let me share 5 of the most supportive colors and the energy they bring. Green is for growth, healing, and renewal. It connects us to nature, to life, and to the quiet hope that things can always begin again. Gold is for prosperity and inner wealth. It carries light, warmth, and a sense of richness, not just in money, but in gratitude and self-worth. Red is for passion, love, and courage. It is the spark of movement and desire. Red brings life to spaces that have gone silent or cold. Blue is for peace and clarity. It softens the edges. It slows the pace. It invites thought, honesty, and calm connection. White is for purity and possibility. It clears away old energy. It opens the door to what is new, fresh, and waiting. These colors are not just about looks. They are about energy, about emotion, about how your home feels on the inside, even when no one else is there. And the best part? You do not need to repaint your whole house. A small green plant, a golden bowl, a red pillow, a soft blue candle, a white curtain. Just one shift can change the energy of the whole room. But now we come to something many people never consider. Just as some colors support your energy, others quietly hold it down. They look elegant, they appear safe, but over time, they stop the natural movement of light, warmth, and joy in a space. One of these colors has become extremely popular in modern design. It is praised in magazines. It is used in living rooms, kitchens, bedrooms, and even nurseries. But in the energy world, it is known for doing just one thing, making everything stand still. I will tell you more about this color in the next part of our time together. But for now, I want to invite you to pause and look around your home. What colors are you living with each day? How do they make you feel when you wake up, when you sit down, when you try to rest? Do you feel held and supported? Or do you feel like something's missing? Even if you cannot name it, there is no judgment here, only awareness. And awareness is the first gentle step toward change. You deserve a home that feels alive, a space that lifts you, that returns the love and peace you give to others. Let us keep going and discover how a simple color shift can help bring light, warmth, and movement back into your life. 2. The silent drain. Sometimes the biggest shifts in our energy do not come from what we add, but from what we unknowingly allow to stay. In many homes today, there is one color that quietly drains the life out of a space. It does not scream. It does not demand attention. In fact, it looks calm, controlled, and stylish. That is what makes it so deceiving. This color has been called modern, minimal, and elegant by decorators and magazines. But in feng shui and in real life, it is often the hidden reason behind low energy, fatigue, and a sense of emotional heaviness at home. That color is dark gray. Now, I want to be clear. Gray itself is not evil, just like silence is not bad, until it becomes too loud. A soft gray, used with intention and warmth, can be calming. But dark gray, especially when it dominates a space, begins to do something different. It creates stillness, not peaceful stillness, but stuckness. It absorbs light. It holds energy down. It removes the feeling of flow. And for many people, especially in later years, that kind of energy is dangerous. Imagine this. You have taken care to decorate your home thoughtfully. You have a cozy chair, clean floors, quiet surroundings, but you find yourself feeling less motivated. You take more naps than usual. You feel a little off, not quite yourself. You may even tell yourself, maybe it is just my age. But what if it is not? What if it is the environment silently feeding that feeling? I once visited a woman in her early 70s. Her home was picture perfect, the kind you see in a catalog. Soft gray walls, charcoal furniture, stone-colored rugs. She told me, I thought it would feel peaceful, but after a few months, I just felt low. I stopped using my living room. I started spending more time in the kitchen because it had more color. That is what dark gray can do. It creates the illusion of rest while removing the feeling of life. Spiritually, dark gray is associated with lack. A lack of light, a lack of clarity, a lack of connection. And when those qualities fill a space, we start to feel isolated, unmotivated, even slightly lost. But we do not know why. The worst part? We often blame ourselves. We say we are just slowing down, that it is part of aging, that it is normal. And yes, some changes in energy are part of getting older, but many others are signals from the environment around us. Dark gray, when overused, is like a soft weight that settles on everything. It does not push you down suddenly. It rests on your shoulders over time, and the longer it stays, the heavier your space and your spirit becomes. You may notice that you avoid certain rooms in your home, or you only use them during daylight hours, or you always feel better when you step outside or into a room with more light and color. That is not your imagination. That is the energy of color affecting you deeply and quietly. This happens most often in living rooms and bedrooms, spaces meant for connection and rest. But when those rooms are wrapped in deep gray tones, they often become emotionally flat. Conversations feel shorter. Thoughts become heavier. Sleep is not as restful. Time feels slower. It does not mean your whole home is wrong. It simply means something needs adjusting. Energy needs to move again, and the first step is noticing what has been holding it back. So, let me ask you, do you have dark gray in your home right now? Maybe it is a wall, a couch, a rug, curtains, even just one large piece can shift the energy of an entire room. If so, I want you to know you do not need to feel guilty. You do not need to throw anything away or start over. You simply need to bring life back into the space, and I will guide you through that in just a moment. But before we move on, take a gentle moment to reflect. How does your home make you feel? Not just how it looks, but how it feels to sit in your favorite chair. How it feels when you walk into the room in the early morning or just before bed. Do you feel lifted or lowered? This is not about trends. It is about truth. It is about giving yourself permission to choose what nourishes you, not just what looks good in a photograph. 3. Why dark gray feels cold. Dark gray is not a bad color in itself. It can be elegant. It can be grounding. It can even be useful in small amounts. But when it becomes the main tone in a space, when it covers the walls, the furniture, the floor, and the windows, something begins to shift, not on the surface, but underneath. Slowly, the room loses its warmth. It loses its voice. It becomes quiet. Not the kind of quiet that brings peace, but the kind that makes you feel like something is missing. Dark gray does not invite you in. It does not greet you with light. It simply sits, still, heavy, silent. Now, if you are someone who enjoys calm, that might sound appealing at first. But this is not the calm of a gentle breeze or a peaceful morning. This is the stillness of a place that has stopped moving. A place where energy is paused, not resting. There is a difference between rest and stagnation. Rest restores you. Stagnation drains you. When you walk into a room filled with dark gray, especially in your living space or bedroom, you may notice an emotional flatness. You do not feel inspired to do anything. You do not feel called to sit and stay. You may not even feel like yourself. You are simply passing through, going through the motions. That is the energetic effect of color. Now think for a moment about hotel rooms. Many modern hotels use gray as the primary design color. Gray walls, gray curtains, gray carpets, gray furniture. Why? Because it feels neutral. But how often do you feel truly relaxed in those rooms? Even if the bed is comfortable and the temperature is perfect, there is often a quiet sense of disconnection, like you are just passing through, like nothing belongs to you. That is how dark gray can make your own home feel, like a place you do not fully settle into. Homes are meant to reflect who we are. They are meant to support us emotionally, spiritually, and energetically. They should echo our laughter, hold our memories, and gently carry us through each season of life. But when the colors in our home make us feel cold, distant, or invisible, that connection begins to fade. Dark gray creates a subtle emotional fog. It mutes the warmth of sunlight. It softens the edges of joy. It holds back the little moments that make a home feel alive. A conversation that lingers. A deep breath taken in peace. A spark of inspiration that comes while reading a book or sipping tea. This is especially true as we get older. In our younger years, we may have been too busy to notice how a room felt. But now, in this season of life, we spend more time at home. We rest more. We reflect more. We listen more closely to our bodies, our memories, our emotions. And that means we also become more sensitive to the energy around us. Color begins to matter more than ever. The wrong color does not just stay on the wall. It moves into your mind. It clouds your thoughts. It changes the way you move through the day. And because dark gray is so often chosen for its sophisticated look, many people never realize that the very thing they thought would calm them is the same thing that is slowly dimming their spirit. This does not mean that you must avoid gray forever. In fact, when paired with soft whites, warm woods, or touches of gold and green, gray can become a quiet support, like the background of a painting. But when gray becomes the painting itself, when it is everywhere with no light or warmth to balance it, the result is emotional distance. Here is how you might notice it in your home. You stop inviting people over. even though you love company. You begin spending less time in certain rooms without realizing why. You feel mentally foggy or emotionally numb in places that once felt vibrant. You find yourself saying, "I just do not feel like myself in here." These are not just moods. They are messages. Messages from your home telling you something needs to shift. 4. How to fix it. If you are looking around your home and realizing there may be too much gray, especially the darker shades, please know this. You do not need to panic. You do not need to repaint your whole house. You do not need to start over. In Feng Shui and in life, energy is never fixed. It can always be shifted, and most of the time, it only takes a few small adjustments to create a big difference in how your space feels. The goal is not to remove every trace of gray. The goal is to bring back balance, to invite warmth, light, and life into the room again. Here are a few gentle, practical steps you can take starting today. Step 1. Add one living plant. Plants are powerful energy movers. They breathe. They grow. They bring the vibration of life into any room they enter. If you do not have a green thumb, do not worry. There are many low-maintenance options that are perfect for beginners, like the snake plant, peace lily, pothos, or lucky bamboo. Even one small plant in a gray-heavy space can begin to lift the energy. Place it where you will see it every day, near a window, on a side table, or beside your favorite chair. Let it remind you that life is always growing, even in quiet places. Step 2. Introduce warm colors through soft accents. Think about textures and textiles. Throw blankets, pillows, rugs, curtains. Choose colors like soft gold, warm cream, moss green, rust, or even gentle terracotta. These tones do not fight against gray. Instead, they soften it. They bring warmth back into the conversation. For example, a gray sofa with 2 gold pillows and a cream throw suddenly becomes a welcoming seat. A cool-toned bedroom with a warm-toned lamp and soft wooden picture frames feels more like a retreat than a hotel. Step 3. Use artwork that carries energy. Art is not just for decoration. It is a message. It is memory. It is mood. Hang or display art that makes you feel something. Joy, comfort, connection, beauty. Look for scenes of nature, family, color, or places that bring you peace. A landscape with green hills, a painting with soft blue skies, or a simple watercolor of a blooming flower can shift the emotional tone of a room. And it does not need to be expensive. Even a postcard in a beautiful frame or a photo from your travels can be powerful when placed with intention. Step 4. Light a candle. Play soft music. Open a curtain. Energy moves through the senses. When a room feels stuck, it often needs more than just visual change. Bring in scent, sound, and natural light. A warm candle on a side table. A soft playlist that makes you feel calm or nostalgic. A curtain pulled back to let the daylight pour in. You do not need to do all of this at once. Even one of these steps, taken slowly and with care, can create a noticeable shift. Sometimes we think we need a big transformation to feel better. But often, what we need is already close by, already within reach. I once worked with a couple in their early 60s who had been living in a gray-toned living room for years. They liked the color at first. It felt modern and clean. But over time, they stopped using that room. They could not explain why. After adding a single plant, a red and gold patterned pillow, and opening the blinds each morning, they told me, "It feels like the room woke up." That is the power of small change. Your home does not need to be perfect. It only needs to support you. To reflect who you are, not what a design magazine says is stylish. If dark gray has taken over too much of your space, you have the ability to bring life back, one object, one plant, one moment at a time. And the best part? You get to decide what balance feels like for you. Some people love bold color. Others prefer soft neutrals with just a few touches of warmth. There is no single right answer. What matters is how your home makes you feel, truly feel, when you spend time in it. So take a slow walk through your space. Bring your awareness with you. Notice what you feel drawn to. Notice what feels flat. And then choose one area, one corner, one object, and bring new life into it. This is not decorating. This is reconnecting. 5. Your home is your charger. At this stage in life, we have carried so much, years of working, years of caring, years of showing up for others even when we were tired. We have supported families, raised children, built careers, overcome loss, and celebrated joy. We have been strong. We have been steady. Now, we deserve to rest in a space that gives some of that energy back. Your home should not be just a place where you sleep, eat, and pass the time. It should be your charger, your sanctuary, a place that fills you up when the world feels too loud, a space where you can feel peace in your chest, clarity in your mind, and softness in your body. So I ask you gently, does your home do that for you? When you wake up in the morning, does your bedroom greet you with calm and light? When you sit in your favorite chair, do you feel supported? Not just physically, but emotionally? When you walk through the rooms of your home, do they reflect the life you have lived? Or do they feel like someone else's idea of how it should look? These questions are not meant to overwhelm you. They are meant to open a door, a new way of seeing your home, not as a project, but as a partner. Because your environment holds power. It mirrors what is happening inside of you. If your space feels heavy, your body starts to feel heavier. If your home feels cold, your thoughts become slower. But when your space feels open, loved, and alive, something inside of you begins to rise again. You may not need to travel far or do anything dramatic to feel better. Sometimes, you just need to reconnect with the four walls that surround you and ask them to care for you the way you have cared for others for so long. That starts with intention. A soft light in the corner of a dim room, a favorite photo placed where you can see it each day, a chair moved closer to the window so you feel the sun on your face, a color that reminds you of who you used to be or who you are becoming. Your home becomes your charger when you fill it with reminders of what matters, not what is trendy, not what someone else said is stylish, but what feels true, grounding, and good for you. And that is different for everyone. For some, it is color. A warm yellow blanket, a red flower near the window, a painting with rolling green hills. For others, it is sound. Music playing softly as the day begins. For others still, it is scent. A candle, a fresh cup of coffee, the clean smell of a morning breeze. It is not about having more. It is about choosing what supports you. That could mean removing items that no longer feel right, letting go of things that carry old energy, or simply rearranging what you already have to feel more open, more peaceful, more you. You deserve that. Your life has been full, and now your home should reflect that richness, not in things, but in feeling, in warmth, in the quiet knowledge that you are surrounded by care, even in the silence. I once met a widower who had not changed a thing in his home since his wife passed away. Everything stayed exactly where she left it. He said it gave him comfort, but over time, the stillness became sadness. He said, "It started to feel like the house was waiting, but I did not know for what." Together, we made a few small changes. He kept her favorite chair, but added a new pillow in her favorite color. He moved a lamp to brighten the corner she used to read in. He placed a blooming plant by her photo on the shelf. 2 weeks later, he told me, "It feels like the house is breathing again, and I can breathe again too." That is what happens when your home becomes your charger. It begins to care for you. So if you are feeling low, uninspired, or simply tired, look around. Your home may be waiting to help you. You do not need to do it all today. You just need to begin.